If I had to start a brand new remote cleaning business from absolute zero today, knowing everything I know from building one to over 7 figures in just 18 months, this is exactly what I would do. And I'm not talking about the advice that you'd hear from so-called online gurus. In this video, I'm breaking down my complete step-by-step system from going from absolute zero to over 10K per month by creating a foundation that's built to scale. Let's dive in. So if you ask me why 90% of new entrepreneurs fail, I'd say it's because they focus on things that don't matter yet. The only thing that matters in the beginning is getting customers. But a lot of people like to avoid that because in their minds, they think it's hard. So they focus on things like logos and branding, business cards, and they even want to focus on getting cleaners before they have any jobs lined up. The problem with doing that is if you get a bunch of cleaners vetted and ready to go and you don't have any jobs, they're going to be waiting around. And if they wait too long, they're going to go looking for work somewhere else. The only thing that matters early on is getting customers and bringing in cash. When you have cash coming in, everything in the business gets solved and gets better. You can pay your cleaners more and get better cleaners. You can buy better equipment, more apps to run things efficiently, spend more money on AI, things like that. So everything revolves around bringing in customers. And I see in the beginning, people want to shy away from it. And like Alex Hormozi says, the things that we avoid control us. So my best advice is to only focus on customers and bringing in cash from the start and don't look back. Just stay focused on that and everything else will work itself out. And the way that you do that, and the key to not being one of these 90% of people, is by building an inbound customer acquisition funnel using Facebook ads. And the reason I recommend Facebook ads is because the thing that's really important here is how fast you react to them. And on the Facebook platform, you can set up the ads to run at certain days and times when you know that you'll be by your desk and by a phone so you can call these people and chat with them online. As opposed to other platforms, they come in randomly. Like Google, for example, it can come in at any time during the day, whether you're ready or not. But Facebook allows you to isolate time periods so that way you can be ready to answer the leads fast and give yourself a much higher chance of converting them. On Facebook, leads are going to be a lot cheaper and you get way more bang for your buck. And if you're just starting out, you want to build up your clientele and you want volume. And the reason why leads are cheaper on Facebook is because you have to stop somebody from scrolling. They're not online actually searching for a cleaner, but that doesn't mean that they won't want one. So once you stop them from scrolling, if you can get your offer in front of them and get them interested, you can get a lot of people to respond to that offer and you can get a lot of new clients. I built my entire business in the beginning off of Facebook ads. With Facebook ads, they give you 3 options. You can optimize for people to call you, like literally click to call you from the Facebook ad, but that's not good. Nobody really wants to get on the phone right away. You're still a stranger to them. And then the other way is to get them to fill out a form for you to call them. And basically we call this a request a quote form. So basically you're giving them something for free in exchange, like something valuable, which is a quote, a free quote for their information. A lot of people opt in for those forms, but then you have to reach out to them and the challenge might be getting in touch sometimes. The last way you could do it is just instant messenger. This is the way I recommend, because when people chat online, especially if they've stopped scrolling, they're engaged right then and there. And if you've set that day and time when you know you're ready to answer them and you're responding right away, the likelihood of them like talking to you and you giving them a quote and getting them interested is very, very high. When I got my first clients on Facebook, probably like my first 200 clients in my business, all I did was chat with them online and then try to get them on the phone from there. But if they didn't want to go on the phone, I just stayed on the instant messenger and I chatted with them. And most of those people, I was able to give them a quote and get them booked all online in the instant messenger, and everything went well. I was able to book clients and build a very big foundation of my business. I have a lot of students in the program that use things like Thumbtack and Yelp to get customers, but one of my most successful customers, David, he's done over $10,000 in his first 60 days, and he got them all from Facebook ads. And now other people in the group are messaging him on the Discord server to find out exactly how he did it. But when I spoke to him, he said that it was all form fills and instant messenger, so he did a mix of both. And he said that the average lead costs about $12 to $13. And in comparison, I pay about $50 per lead on Google. So that's why I'm saying you can get way more bang for your buck on Facebook ads to begin with, build that clientele, and then later when you have a lot of cash from that first group of customers that you get from Facebook ads, you can go diversify and spend some on Google and see how that goes as well. Here's a very simple framework to run the ads. First, you need the hook. It's something that they hate cleaning themselves. That always hooks people the best. That's going to be blinds or shutters, behind the toilet, the stovetop, the oven. All those types of things compel people to keep watching because they say to themselves, like, I don't want to do that myself. Second, you need story and or proof. The best way to tell a story and show proof of your good work is transformations. So showing the toilet or the oven like really dirty and grimy, and then showing it after you're done cleaning it, and that tells a story and shows proof of your work. The next thing you want to do is make some type of compelling offer. The best way to do this is to look at the meta ads library and see what offers are working for other companies. If they've been running their ads for months, chances are that offer is effective, or they would have taken it down. You could just copy the best ideas that you see there, or you could try something simple like get a standard clean with us, and if it's your first time, we'll upgrade it to a deep clean. Something like this. Just don't lead with discounts, because then you're conditioning your new clients to wait until you offer discounts, and some of them will. You don't want to do that. You want to condition them to come in and just pay a regular price, but maybe get some type of first-time promo. And then after your offer, you want to show them social proof. All that means is you want to show testimonials. Social proof is what other people say about your company and your service. So show your testimonials and tell them what your star rating is on Google, on Yelp, etc. And then lastly, you want to end with a call to action. All this means is, and the one that works the best, is you offer them something of value for their information or to start a chat with you. And the best offer to make them is a free quote. That's what people want. They want to learn how much it costs to have you come out and provide the service. So all you have to do in Facebook is tell them to click the Learn More button, and that'll open up their form that they can fill out and give you the information. And on the form, it says request a quote. So it's pretty clear and easy for them. They know exactly what they're doing, and that's how you do a call to action. In terms of budget and spend, I would start with $30 per day with the goal to be raising it up to about $50 a day in ad spend. You should expect to get at least 20 new customers per month. And out of those 20 new customers, you should expect about 20 to 25% of those to book reoccurring cleans with you and become regular customers. By the way, if you want my help implementing this system so you can start and scale your remote cleaning business the fastest way possible, just hit the link in the description. That's it. Back to the video. So now that you're getting leads, here's what you want to do next. The most important thing with inbound leads is what we call speed to lead, meaning how fast you respond. If somebody fills out a form on your website or on Facebook, you want to respond within 30 seconds, 1 minute at the most. And the second thing that you want to understand is that this is called a discovery call. We never try to sell anything to anybody. Being a salesperson is the wrong approach. Something psychologically you want to think about is peeling back the layers of discovery, because this sends a signal to the prospect that you're really thinking about what their problem or pain point is. Let me give you an example. If someone calls up and they say they really need a clean urgently by a certain date, I ask them, like, are you having guests over? What's going on at the property? And sometimes you'll hear something like, my parents are coming to visit. I haven't cleaned it in a long time. So the real problem is, even though when they called, they said they called for a quote, they weren't really calling for a quote. They were calling because they didn't want their parents to see their place all messed up. The best way to handle that is to then say, well, look, if we need to get your place cleaned before your parents come, how much love does the place need? Do you think it needs more of a standard clean, or do you think it needs a lot of love and you want to do a deep clean so when your parents walk in, it feels good, it smells nice, and it looks clean and orderly? Cleaning is a very intimate service, which is a good thing. Because of all home services, think about it. Pool, pest control, lawn care, all these types of services are home services, but none of them are as intimate as house cleaning. Because a lot of the time, the house cleaner is in the house alone. They're washing your underwear, they're making your bed, they're in your closet putting things away when no one's home. It's a very intimate service. Your pets are in the home sometimes, people's kids, things like that. A lot of it is based off of trust. And so when somebody calls for a quote, when they say, I want a quote, they do want to understand how much it costs, but what they're really doing is sending you a signal saying, can I trust you in my home? So the goal for that first call when you talk to a prospect isn't just to give them a quote. The real goal is to build rapport with them and gain their trust. That way, at the end of the call, if they feel good with you, the price doesn't matter as much. Now, when it comes to how to find reliable cleaners, the process is pretty much the same as getting customers. But instead of an inbound customer acquisition funnel, we build an inbound recruiting funnel. And instead of Facebook ads, we use the platform Indeed.com to post job ads. And why Indeed.com specifically is because that's where most people who are looking for cleaning jobs go to find them. Now, when you're looking for applications, these are the 5 things that you should look for that make an ideal person a good cleaner that can make your customers happy and make you a lot of money. The first thing is a valid driver's license, because they need access to gated communities, buildings, and military bases. Without a valid current ID, a lot of the time they won't let people through those checkpoints, and then they can't go do the jobs and they can't make you money. Number 2, they have to have a reliable car that they don't share with anybody. A lot of people think they can Uber, take the bus, or that their spouse or somebody else can drop them off at the jobs. No, that never happens. It never works. There's too much driving involved because they have to go from house to house. So you have to ask people specifically, do you have a reliable car that you don't share with anyone? And unless you hear a resounding, confident yes, they're not going to work out. Number 3, they have to be excellent communicators, because when you call them and to assign them a job, if they don't respond in a timely manner, or even more with a sense of urgency, they're going to hold up your entire scheduling process and create inefficiencies in your work. And that's not going to be good for your business. And ultimately, you're going to lose money that way. Number 4 is speed. I've seen a lot of people come through my company that are excellent cleaners, but they're really slow. And the problem is time is literally money in this business because we pay the cleaners hourly. So if they're good cleaners, but they're not fast, they won't be able to make you money. Speed is imperative. Number 5 might seem obvious, but it's availability. They always say the best ability is availability. You can have the best cleaners, they could be great communicators, all these different things, but if they're not available for you at all times or most of the time during business hours, like during the day, they're not going to help you make money and they'll create inefficiencies in your scheduling process. Look for things like, do you have to pick up kids at a certain time from school or from daycare? Because if they can't stay to finish the job, they're going to make your customers unhappy. And sometimes jobs go longer than expected. So you definitely want people that aren't prohibited by activities or class that they have to go to. You want to make sure they're available and they can stay out for long periods of time without anything getting in the way. The biggest mistake I see when hiring cleaners, and the biggest red flag, is when people say that they're working at another cleaning company, but they're not getting enough hours. That's a signal to you right away that they're too slow, because most cleaning businesses, if not all cleaning services, they're overbooked. Because getting clients in this business is the easiest part. Keeping up with the demand is the hardest part. And I know from experience, my good cleaners are always busy all day long, and I'm trying to get them to take more hours and more cleaning jobs. So if somebody comes to you and they apply and they say, yeah, I work at this cleaning service, but I'm not getting a lot of hours, that's a sign right there and a red flag. Don't hire those people. It means that they won't be able to make you money. If they could, the other cleaning service would be giving them lots of hours. As far as other roles go in the business, here's what they are and here's when you can remove yourself. Starting with customer service. I would take as many calls as you can because it's going to teach you so much about your business, but you don't actually have to answer the phone and do the customer service. You can delegate that from day one. The next role is recruiting. That can be handed off to somebody from day one. But again, just like the customer service, the more you talk to cleaners that want to come work for you, the better you'll understand them and how to become a magnet to draw them in. But once you become good at it, you could teach someone else how to do it right away. And then the third role is really operations, which is scheduling the cleaners and doing the administrative work, making sure that the cleaners have accurate notes so they know where they're going, what time the job starts, and what the customer wants. And then there are some key things like not having the gate code to access the community could hold them up. Sometimes we have door codes because we clean when people aren't home. And so you got to make sure that your cleaners are situated and that the things that your customers communicated to you are in the notes for the cleaners. This is very easy. And this too can be delegated from the first day. I have virtual assistants do it. All the 3 roles, I don't do any of anymore. I did when I first started, but after like 2 to 3 months, 60 to 90 days, I brought on a virtual assistant to help me with it. And then I scaled to 6 virtual assistants because we're doing 30 houses a day now. So they run the business for me. All I do is oversee it and make sure that the numbers look good. And then of course, invoicing and processing payments. In this business model, everybody pays up front in full when they book. So you don't have to worry about an accounts receivable. There's nothing like building up that you have to collect. They call in. If they scheduled and they want to reserve a spot, they have to give you the credit card over the phone. You book it, you take the payment, and that's it. It's really easy. So this can also be delegated on day one. And all these administrative and operations tasks can be done by the same person. So if you hire one virtual assistant, they can do it all. Or if you're the one working the business full time, you can easily handle it yourself. And that's exactly how I went from absolute zero to making over $100,000 per month in just 18 months with my remote cleaning business. Now you have 2 options. You can take everything I've shown you in this video and you could try to figure it out yourself, or you could bypass all the time and heartache and lost money, and you can click on this link in the description and apply to get coached by me. It's your call. I'll see you in the next one.